涙なんか。私もそうだった。つくんしか理解できないから話してるのに。わかるだろ、うちの女はみんなダメダメなんだ。お母さんが何を知ってんだよ。啓発本でも読んだのかよ。おばあちゃんたちが貧乏してたからお母さんを売ったんだろ。お母さんはそうするし。その目を。
They got the same eyes. They actually got the same eyes as his brother, actually. Yeah, that's it. But this episode is pure payment. So Toya can't be a hero. His powers is too powerful for his right? Yeah, now he attacks his own brother here. He was almost crazy. He was almost jealous of Shota, right? And this episode is pure pain, but as you can see, Toya was already crazy as a kid. He was already trying to hurt his brother, and Mom froze him there. Yeah, Mom was like blaming his mom, you know, for not giving him the right powers, right? And he has the same eyes. This episode was full of pain. It's full of pain, man. Look, you know it's gonna be a painful episode. Woo, man. Yeah, you know it's gonna be like, oh, that episode was painful. So, yeah, Toya's backstory. It gave a lot of. It's the backstory. Okay, so talk it. Very sad episode. Of course, we get the whole Toya's insanity going in, right? We get, of course, now trading him and so on. First of all, I like that we actually kind of went from the beginning. Yeah, I like that we kind of went from like where Endeavour gets married, right? He meets Rei. Talking about kind of like, oh, we obviously know it's about that it's like a quirk marriage, like a power marriage. So we know that already. But I like kind of seeing the beginning, right? We kind of see the meeting, they're quite young, like early 20s, right, in their age. You know, we see the flower, right, she has, right, and on the sensor. She talking about like the flower, the god, oh, this is my favorite flower, so on, right? So we see that. And I guess to, you know, Papa and Endeavour's credits, right, he is somewhat of like a, you know, like he isn't like necessarily a bad husband, right? I mean, at this stage, I mean, not the whole, but I mean, like when they're young, when they like, you know, use meats, right? He's trying to like, oh, what's your favorite flower? So he's trying at least. I give him that, right? He's getting married to this woman, you know, from like a like quirk marriage, right? Arranged marriage, but with quirks, and he's like trying, I guess, at least to be like, what's your favorite food, color, flower, and so on, right? Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna be a husband. Yeah, I'm gonna be like a decent husband to this thing, right? I mean, arguably he could have ignored that, right? And he's been like, whatever, let's just get babies, right? So he's doing his best, I guess, in the beginning there. And I guess you could say in the beginning, right, that their like family life isn't that bad when, you know, when he's born and so on, yeah. But clearly Toya's issue, right, his image here, is that his powers, his fire is too powerful. Right? We really know that, yeah, his fire is so powerful, and you know, like he not only didn't he get his mom's how to say it, her ice power, right, but he also can't even be a normal hero, so to speak, right? Because his power will hurt him. So Endeavour is like, you gotta quit, you can't be a hero. But it's interesting how you see Toya going crazy pretty early, actually, yeah. Because he keeps being like, I have to be a hero, I wanna be stronger than All Might, I wanna be like that, right? And then instead his father is like, no, you can't even be a hero. Not only can't you be stronger than All Might, you can't even try to be a hero. Because, yeah, you're like, you're gonna die, boy. So yeah, he's just like, you gotta quit, right? So we can kind of see how that drives him crazier already at an early age. But I think that it was really interesting how we also we kind of saw how Mom as well went crazy early as well, right? So talk about that. Yeah.
私じゃ止められない。
お前がやれ。俺は見ない。お前がやれ。
ねえ、今何が見えてるの？その目をやめて。その
やけど周囲から見られない箇所。
出なくなるからさ、俺を作ってよ。
なぜトーヤを止めなかったね。頼んだはずだ。
お母さんをいじめないで。母さんが何を知ってんだ。
I find this interesting because Toya kept training in secret, right? To hurt his body, and Endeavour hates his wife, right? It's not because of the Shota thing. So this somewhat redeems Endeavour from his standpoint. I might hate for saying that, but come on, like Endeavour actually makes more sense here now. You know, because he's like, his true anger comes from that Toya kept training in secret. And then it blames wife for that. Because the shortest backstory is only because he was training too hard, right? But that's actually kind of the opposite. When Endeavour is going crazy, yeah. When he's angered Rei, man. This image, man, my god, yeah. This image is dark, man. We see Endeavour in full wrath. But what I want to address first, right? And again, this was a great episode. Is that this backstory gave even more depth to Endeavour, which I also keep saying is the best written character in Macadamia, right? By far the best written character. He has by far the most depth and the most complicated character, right? So I would arguably say that Endeavour is the best written shonen character, even goes that far even. But he's definitely the best character in Macadamia by far. Not a lot of people hate him as well, but I mean, it's like from a writing standpoint, my god, Endeavour is by far the best written character in Macadamia. But anyway, this here gave in more depth to that then, because, what can I say, right? We know that Endeavour is a bad husband, right? To Rei, of course, we know that. But in Shota's backstory, it was kind of like, oh, he was training me so hard, Mom tried to save me, and he got angry at Mom, right? That's kind of his SN2 backstory. But now with this backstory, where he looks even more angry for that matter, but it actually gave a little more depth to it in the sense that we actually even redeemed him a little bit, right? Because it was like, actually pretty a lot, I would say. Because the anger didn't really seem to come from that she's trying to like, oh, you're training our son too hard, you're training, fire nice boy, this boy too hard, right? No. Doesn't need to be carried. Isn't actually about that, right? His actual anger is because Toya keeps training in secret, right? Toya keeps training in secret, which makes Toya takes damage because his fire is so hot, right? So he takes damage from it. And that was anger against his wife is actually because she keeps letting Toya train. But, he's like a young boy going out training in the force alone, right? And Mom tries to stop him a little bit. But it's like, shut up, Mom, and he kind of leaves, right? Yeah, basically, yeah, he's like, dude, yeah, screw you, Mom, right? And basically leaves, right? So this definitely, I would say, redeemed Endeavour a little bit. Maybe I get some hate now on the internet, but I think so, even though he looks even angrier and he's even more of a crazy husband, right? But at least his anger, like his max anger, doesn't come from her trying to stop the shorter training. It actually comes from her not stopping Toya from hurting. Right? So, and then she's like, what can I do? He's a crazy boy and so on, right? Yeah. So I think it was interesting. Of course, she's like, oh, you're a bad father too, right? And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that Endeavour is a perfect father and he can obviously stop him himself. Yeah. Obviously, Endeavour is blaming her, but he also could have, like, been more at home, whatever, right? And talked to his son more and so on. But again, I think this anger then, because, yeah, in the first flashback, right? Like 100 episodes ago, more than that, 115 episodes ago, in again Shota's perspective, right? He was like, he's hated Mom because she would never let me train or whatever, and blah 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 and so on. But actually, it's like, no, he hated Mom because she, never helped Toya or stopped Toya or whatever. So it's like, okay, that's the actual hatred he has for his wife. But anyway, yeah, we see them fighting, right, and then eventually Toya goes crazy. But it's really clear why Toya would go out there and train, right? Obviously, his father made him be obsessed by becoming an All Might, right? But what I would say that I lacked in the flashback, though, which I hope you're gonna explain, that was still not really explained, because you see Toya training, and then he gets the blue flame eventually, right? He's like, yes, I did it. I can get even hotter than Dad, right? Now I can be a hero. But of course, it keeps being like, by training like that, he also takes more damage. So. Yeah, his powers is pretty terrible. He's a really terrible character. Yeah, it's like, oh, I keep training and then I get even stronger. And it's like, yeah, great, you hurt him more damage. But what I missed in the flashback, I would say definitely was that he, of course, trains to get the blue flame. He's crying because, parents are fighting, blah, 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 so on, right? And then he, again, bursts on the force, right? But we don't see how he survived that. Yeah, I still missed how he... I wish they would go into that a little bit, right? I wish they were into a little bit of how he survived, really, how he met up with the League and the villains. They kind of skipped over all of those steps, right? Kind of how he, so that's a little lacking. I guess we never will know, right? Because from our perspective, he's just part of the bad guys. I mean, yeah, so they completely skipped over that. I wish there was like a minute or two showing more of like how he actually teamed up with the bad guys or something like that. But he's just kind of like survives the burning somehow, and then he becomes part of the bad guys. Whatever, that's a mistake. And then with that end episode, we get Hawks coming in there, ruining the family reunion. Yeah, Hawks is like, hey man, we're gonna team up, right? We're like, Hawks, stop interrupting the family sadness, man. So Hawks just walks in there like when Endeavour is crying, and he's like, hey best bro, let's be friends. So you're like, oh Hawks, this is not the time or the place. Man, I love Hawks, but that felt super awkward, yeah. That felt so awkward. The Hawks and best JEANIST walks in, they're having this like, you know, Rei's at the hospital, they have this like super like sad family reunion. He's like, can I also be part of it? And then we see his flashback like, my dad was a terrible father too. I feel I can be part of this family. Like what? Just leave. I was laugh trying at it, but you know, I love Hawks too, but man, he's a weird guy, man. He's just like, hey man, my family was bad. I get it, you know, like, get out, Hawks. Then it ends with, yeah, gonna be Deku and the power-ups, right? Oh man, yeah. That's the episode, guys. Man, that was a dark episode, yeah. Subscribe to the episode, alright. I'm gonna see you in shacks, man. Like I got into it, man, too much there. Yeah, dark episode. But anyway, guys, so you guys can have a great day.